She knew that it would be difficult for me to take. And so it happened in a fashion that she had to be on the life support machine for about a week. You know, and then it took that whole week for doctors to tell me that, look, yeah, we can expect a miracle. You know, the miraculous will happen. But as medical practitioners, you know, they are seeing a different reality. You know. So they were telling me to try and, you know, come to terms with it. And she was on that machine for about a week, you know. And, you know, sometimes we get very busy running around, you know, the world, and didn't have time, you know, to spend with loved ones, you know. We would talk to them on the phone, you know, on a daily basis, but we never had much time together. So I think that, you know, what my mother did was, in a way, providing me an opportunity to spend at least a week with her, seeing her every day and coming to terms with the fact that, you know, that she was leaving. I was always in denial, you know. I was always in denial because I didn't want her to go. But I spoke to her every day, you know, in that hospital. She never replied, she never said a word to me, but I knew she heard every word I was saying to her. You know, and I think I was the first, you know, family member they told about her passing. The doctors called me up at about 2 a.m. said there was an emergency that I had to come back. And I just left them about 1 p.m. or about 1 a.m. or something, you know. So I had just about 40 or less minutes, you know, of sleep when they woke me up and said I had to make the hospital. And I got there and they gave me the sad news, and I saw for myself. And I had to take, you know, my mother personally to the mortuary. And I got back home at about 4:15, 4:30 a.m. My life has never been the same.
Early in the morning, if I'm sleeping, after she must have attended morning prayers, as she's coming back, I'll be the first person she will shout, "Rich, Rich!" Meaning, Rich, are you still sleeping? She will wake me up. She will be the first person in the morning to tell me about it. That is good morning. So today now, I'm feeling that vacuum. There will be nobody to wake me up in the morning if I'm sleeping. Nobody to tell me, Rich, about it.
What should be comforting to me, the fact that she had a very Christian upbringing. Her last days were all about God, you know, all about the church, all about humanity, you know, all about other people. You know, she was in church in the morning, church in the afternoon, church in the evening. She was in different groups, you know, in the church.
She was one of the singers of this cathedral. And we do mention the names of people, 3 persons that will sing representing their compound, Jack. And when once we have come to Jack's compound concerning the women who are to sing, we will remember her.
And each time we have something like the parochial council meeting, she will remind me up to 3 or 4 times. Instead of me reminding her, that she keeps telling me, please don't forget, or don't forget to remind me, something like that.
In the church, I don't think there's anybody like her. I don't think we have somebody like her. When it comes to drama, this year Mothers Guild, I wasn't here, but I heard what she did. And when it comes to singing, when it comes to dancing, there's nothing she will not want. She's everywhere, everywhere. Then in the community as a whole, everybody knows her. From the beginning of the street to the end of the street, everybody knows her. To be that woman that will stand for the truth, that will want to encourage you, that will want to stroke you when you're wrong, not minding how painful it is, but later will tell you, I have to do it, so you don't have to make that mistake tomorrow.
Although she had businesses, but she does not negotiate her business time with God. She will close down, even if it has to take her 1 week to be in the church. She will not have time for business. I remember most times we do have choir concerts here, late nights, and she will be here on time, even before the choir, and will even leave, if possible, after the choir. Very jovial and funny.
My mother was very exemplary in telling us about love. Was a lesson that I learned of how to be selfless, how to love your own, how to fight for your own, how to defend your own, how to stand by your own, correct them when they are wrong. In public, you don't admonish them. In private, you can admonish them.
I used to call her my big sister because she's all things at all times. In the family, she's our backbone. We call her the backbone of the family.
So she was a God-fearing person, a loving woman, virtuous woman, a generous woman, a woman that gives respect to even her genius, a woman that can lead a family. But she's a bold woman because she will tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. And on that truth, if you bring quarrel, she will quarrel you. But you don't take any time, she will come back again, you reconcile. It's a woman that gathered the family.
Because after the death of my biological mother, she became the mother for all of us. All my mother's children, Anne became the mother for all of us. Each time, Anne will even call me and ask me, how are you faring? Even when I was in Lagos and Abuja, Anne will be calling me and be asking me, how are you faring? I've not seen you for, in fact, if Anne does not see me for 2 weeks, she said, I haven't seen you. And if I come to Abunima without branching her house, then I'm already almost in trouble. That is Anne for you.
Formally, at her life starting, she has 5 children, female, and all died. After that, she now has a son, Chief Honorable Dumo Lulu Briggs. She always called him Namku. She always called him Namku.
Anybody who came, even people that I was older than, my cousins, she would ask them, Namku, are you looking after him? Is he okay? How is he? I hope you are standing by him. I hope you've given him this. I hope you've given him that. Everybody had to do something for Namku. Everybody. Whenever people are coming from Abonima to Parakot, she will prepare snails. She will prepare fish. She will send cassava. She will send granules. It didn't matter how small it was. Whatever she had, she must send something. Namku must always feel her presence.
And after, in his back, she has a son too, Tukumaye Walls and Jack. These are the only 2 children that survived. And she loved them so much. She took them as the apple of her eye. If you want to go against Namku, Mbechi will die for you. Mbechi will die for you. She don't care. But if you go and touch Namku, anything can happen. She don't care to die herself. Particularly when the Namku stand election. When the Namku stand election, and you come and take money from Namku, and you couldn't vote him, you are a problem now. You are a problem. She will abuse you till night. So you have shit in Namku.
But I considered her my friend and the mother of my younger brother. But as much as she loved me, I always felt that she loved my younger brother more. So you could imagine that with so much love that she was pouring on me, she still had a lot more to give to my sibling. Cindy was a very fantastic woman.
She's a woman, but has a man's heart. Very, very bold. And she keeps to justice. She doesn't like oppression. She always keeps to the truth. Anything concerning the family, she's always at the upfront. Whether in terms of burial, in terms of marriages, anything that concerns the family. Even though others are not willing, she will be willing to do it, and she must motivate others to make sure that that thing is done, just to promote the name of the family.
I don't. Because she was involved in everybody's home, everybody's activity, whether it was a burial ceremony, whether it was a wedding ceremony, whether it was a church service. She will be there to assist you, she will be there to clothe you, she will be there to take care of the feeding, she will be there to organize the event, she will be perhaps about the first person to make the event.
She is the greatest, She is a man and a woman, two in one. When it comes to activities, whatever thing that needed to be done. When she's around, nobody worried.
Even when she was sick and had to come and rest a little bit in Port Harcourt, she always wanted to go back home. She always thought about people who would have missed her, people who would have had events, that would need her to assist them, maybe to bring out a wrapper, to bring out, a necklace, to bring out a little coral, to support in one way or the other. And I remember setting up a small business for my mom because she was very highly industrious. She never liked, to be idle. So she always wanted to do something. So almost on a weekly basis, she would take a bus I gave to her to go to her bar to go and get items to sell. She would want to sell things as little as knockouts, everything, that you can think of. She just needed to hear that, somebody has sold something somewhere and she wanted to get it. And every December we had to stock up. And once it was January, we needed to replenish, to stock up again. And then I had to provide money. And then I would ask, what about all the sales you made? They are still paying. She was in business, she never made profits because she didn't think that she had to make profit. She perhaps felt that that was a way of reaching out to people. You will come to take a drink or to buy an item sometimes in the evening at about 7 or at about 8 o'clock. She will be seated on her stool, almost sleeping, sometimes with a small bottle of small stars. Then she'll be dozing off and people will come to pick up items and she'll just tell them to go. What do you want? Take it, it's there. What about the money? Keep the money. She would never know what they took, the quantity they took, how much money they kept, But she was happy that she was in business, So she was a very selfless person.
But my grandmother, I think she's my lifelong teacher. There's nothing more I can add. I don't know. Perhaps I won't be thinking well now. But I don't think I will ever have somebody like her. And I vow to name the next daughter, the next female child, her name. I think that's the best I can do for now.
You can't see person like her. It's not clear. Anything can happen. Anything will happen, and it stand like a woman. You can't stand like it's a woman, it's a man. Stand like a man.
With my mom, it was, I felt her presence every time. I could hear, in my head every time, Namku. And I would call her, the momsy, hey, the momsy, hey, Namku,
Iye, ewo, sokare, Danagog, shobanka. She answers the shobanka. As we're singing the song, Iye, ewo, sokare, Danagog, she will sound shobanka because she's the shobanka. So Hannah loves things like that, children, everybody's mom. She's very, for instance, if Abonima is 100, 99 knows her. Maybe the 100th person is just coming into the town that have not seen her. That's how Anna is. Anna is for you. Everybody's mom.
Obolate, Oboyefete. You are welcome. Have you eaten? You said, no, we've not taken anything. Immediately she will go into the kitchen and give us food to eat. You see, there is no time you meet her for problem and should not get solution. for that problem.
There was something that was very profound that happened. My parents were, separated. And I saw a very big advantage in that. I could run away from, my father's cane to my mother's place and tell stories, tissues of lies, and of why, my father was trying to beat me and why I had to leave the house and all. My mother was as strict as my dad, Most other families send their people to my mom to be trained. Although she wouldn't take any of those and she would send me back. Sometimes, she would beat me and send me right back to my dad. But it didn't stop me. I'll come again the next week. I'll come again the week after. But she realized that that technique, that tactic wasn't working. She had to change it. So, on a certain day when I came with the same stories again of how ill I was being treated and why, I left the house, she did something very profound. She knelt down, held my legs, and started begging me. What can I do for you? Look at me. Why would you have pity on me? Why would you run away from your home where they will mold you, where they will educate you, so that you can be a man? It's you I'm looking up to, praying to God every day that you can be a man and lift me and our family out of this poverty. If you come and stay here with me, I don't have to beat you. I can't improve your life. Why would you be doing this to yourself and to me? Why would you want to kill my hopes? Please go back to your dad. No matter what, go and endure the pains of growing up and be that strong man, that champion for me that will lift us out of our poverty. And because of the way I felt about my mom, we hugged ourselves and both of us cried our hearts out. After which she gave me the remaining soup that was in the house to eat and put me in a bus back to my dad. I knew that I wasn't going to go back to my mother with any further stories because she'd be very heartbroken. So I didn't go back to my mom. I endured the pains of growing up. And my father never spared the rod still. And I am who I am today.
She's a loving woman, cheerful, but stand to the rules. Stand to the rules. That she copied from her father. Discipline is his watchword. When you err, you know that you are in for a trouble. The 12 strokes of the cane, you cannot bypass it. And that is her culture. Discipline is her second name. Everybody knows her. She's a woman, but act like a man.
Sometimes, for every child growing up, I had moments when they felt disliked, by their parents. Because the parents, tried to correct them. My mother was, quick-tempered. And she will flog you and cry with you. But she will flog you again. She will beat you when you did wrong. She would never spare you. As siblings, send their kids. Holiday time was time for kids to be disciplined. They needed to be brought up, in that stern way. And they would bring them to my mom. So we're always, together. And they avoided, coming to her. They liked the meals they got, but they didn't like the beating they got. But she was doing that because she wanted all of them, to be straight. Wanted all of us, to be disciplined. Yeah, so I had those moments with my mom. I used to tell my friends, that I've been suspended, I'm in the air, that I have nowhere to go. Those would be times when my dad, would have been very angry with me and would try to beat me, and I would run away from the home and I go to my mom and my mom would chase me away too. Now I'd left my father's house, I'd run away from the cane, I didn't want to go back to get the cane. And my mother had chased me away too with the cane. So I'd be on the street sometimes for days. And I would, in the company of my friends, all of us growing up, I'd say, well, people are lucky, me I'm suspended, I don't have a place to stay.
She has respect for elders, but she doesn't fear. She will stand on her ground. A yes is a yes, a no is a no. She gave me that tutelage that made me to be bold today, to be who I am, because of her words, her caring words, the way she took care of me from the very day I was born, not even when my mother was alive, because she didn't give birth to a girl, but she took my mother's children, the girls, as if we are her daughters, and she lived very well with us.
She's a nice person, and she's always straight to the point. When you do something wrong, she's gonna like correct you, not by mouth, physical hand, you know.
My mother would look for me around the world. She would go to find out if I had come back to my father's place and realize that I had not come back. And she would seek all the friends that I have. One of them would tell her, well, you have to find me. And she would find me and take me back to my dad. And then my dad would be like, okay, are you tired of running? I was thinking the cane. But I was even get worse, you know. But well, I did those things again, you know. But I guess every child had those things. But that's my mother for you, you know. She made sure. She didn't take the stories I was coming to tell. You know, it was easy to come to say that, look, you were being ill-treated, maybe because there was another woman in the home and all that. And most mothers will get very sentimental, get very emotional, and say, oh no, they didn't want their kids to go through that's rubbish, that ill treatment. I would keep them, you know, in their bosom, you know, pamper them and all that. But my mom knew that, you know, she couldn't provide the things that would take me to the place where I had to go. So she could see through my stories. She always saw the big picture, you know, she saw the big picture. And she knew that I had to go through, you know, some difficulties, right, to be able to achieve that big picture. So she prepared me for those difficulties and told me life wasn't the bed of roses. But if you worked hard, if you went through these things, you'll be at that place, you know, that God has destined for you to be. I'm grateful to her.
There was a day she sent me a message and I did not come when I was supposed to come. So when she saw me, she just rushed me. She wanted to, you know, drag me down. But she said, Yari here now, I'm here, you know. So I was afraid, you know, I was, you know, running from her. Later she called me, won't you eat? The food is ready. And so that's how she is. She will scold you when you go wrong. And she's there for you when you need it the most.
Anne made me to be who I am today. Even when I've not gotten married, Anne was saying, when are you going to marry? When are you going to get married? I said, Anne, don't worry, that day will come. And lo and behold, when the day come, Anne stood as a mother. She was the person that stood as a mother. She came to the white wedding, she came to the traditional marriage, everything, Anne was there. She partook in everything. So the death of Anne is just like a shock, but there is nothing we can say. God has the final say.
Yare Anne inji. So Anne ma awa no kem wane na gbada pa wa mgba awa no kelamam to gbere mi ana ibok wane digijim Anne war ma digijim ake fal ma digiji bra bakam mo ka mi efie ma so wa kurure ara wo mena ata wo mena family na nkuru apre war ma ayewa war ma yaw mate war ma yaware yo bebe so go pese kana war ma bugboro so ba fori war ma yaw mam so anima akpo mate everybody adi victory symbol fori anas mebra anyo anya animia you war ma bu so go sakai go droke keke anyemi ane mas mebra anima mo ka ni ko bebe so ima war ma yawte war ma di gwa babaro fori ibo sai go war ma yaware ba am no so e ka ke se fete whatever ade war mas mebra so anima ko mate war ma yaw mam so yare pani ke bi go aro fori nye shite abokuma yare pakate pot bunto bokuma war so kuma ya jaki bote boye fe moko aboso isin wa babaro fori tie ke pro babaro fori igidgu babaro fori ane ake war ma ko birbra so asoyima akpomate war ma yaw mam me gidu ma yawte o yaw to gidu ma dawe peke kin sala pakambo te me war ma digigo aba sala pakambo Christ berebo
akani ni bara jembra akani mi adan shi are me o ibi gibo to belema ingibo ye fete abi fi ko mai ko perba ani mi to ye feba to ye bu ni bimbe to bi bu ba bra me akani mi ye.
It wasn't easy growing up. It wasn't easy growing up, and she didn't have, but there were times I lived with her. But she was always, in one social club or the other. And I remember that they used to have these monthly meetings that they went for. We looked forward to those monthly meetings. But there were times when she would go to a meeting, and then at the end of the meeting, rather than eat the food, that they were served there, right? My mother would tie the meat around a wrapper around the waist, and bring to the house for I and my younger brother or any other family member who was around, to eat. So I can imagine, right, the indignity. But she didn't care. She had meat wrapped all around her body. But it didn't matter. What mattered was that she was taking meat to her children. Just so very selfless. I'm not sure I did for her as much as she did for me, but well,
She has been like a man, a woman but a man. And she leads her siblings in a way that others emulate. Some emulate, some envy, and some jealous.
I don't think we'll have such person like that in this Danagog's family, because she's just like a lioness in the family, because she fights for her people, she fights for her younger ones, fights for her family, to see that nobody oppress them and nobody, get away, do something and get away with it.
Anakiyokie weni yeno na ye opingi sono ome wa meyin mi sono me ni gbagogo yo inemi bose na bof kama ma me akwa mate yo kete ibani malama ye nana jene mo kansra mo apiki no na abo sen baso bi na abo sen sake wa priam ana priam ba Sake, gbangel lagi bakam, sake. Te yana na wa priya memuba. Class wa muba. Amumu, ai simba. Bo wa so wa mu. Aba wo so, ba fam bakam. Aba ta be gban, sake na bo wa muba. Ala papa feba. Fie aloko ba yana na wa fi ba be menana ikia na bo. Ane yana na wete sinebra. Wamako mingbe ni baka. Mingbe ni baka. Sibo mokbo. Wana poka tekoba. Iya tamina. Atoi de busule. Ade namu. Anata de kaka pro ave. Anata.
She's left, a black hole. Difficult to fill that hole.
Anima ni bi ngibo. Anima ena ngiwo so pere mebe. Aneyare already ebro fante. Yemi ate ya so. Ane abote nka ne pere fante peke na mieba. Ana wani du anima asimebra. Ana me menya se ankuma. Amabo paka anengibo fori. Ayemi abebe asete be mayemi abebe ayemi ara ne su na sekinabo ye mon shoshebo anapiko gbo soso sarafa anwura brabo ara partly peke obonoma partly peke iye money so anima moko polo sake bo aro bite fi wate dokete wan ngba bem ye anefita beto afia ma kalobi mi amegba anima ba gbogbo njisoye ma anima mejisoye me ne kini ha chamno brawo fe bebe tamno omiete minito be mene abam bebe well imbode me ibene soteke mbo prewo komande ma megba mebo ateme deinamu kene atamno atamo kiteke ora omangarabo orere brabo kuroma ta apeke ona njo peke akomra be ibidu me peke anjo ona peke kon.
What I would say, Irene, wherever she is.
And what I wish her is a good rest after 77 years of fighting of running around early. 7-7. That's fantastic numbers for perfection. Time to rest. God knows best. Better rest and rest in absolute peace.